Okay, I just repeated. Okay, now let's take a look at how to create the index columns. Okay, before we create the index columns, first of all, let us understand what is index. First of all, in the case of Power BI, okay, index columns. Once you create an index, it will become part of your table column. It will contain a list of sequential values using which we can uniquely identify the table. Like in the case of RDBMS table, you have a primary key or a unique key. Using the unique key, you can, for employee ID is a unique key. Aadhaar number is a unique key. Okay, so you can, Aadhaar number can be used by only one person, right? Unique number. So your Aadhaar number, I cannot use it. My Aadhaar number, you are not supposed to use it. Hence, Aadhaar number is unique. Using Aadhaar number, you can uniquely identify a record. Let's say a person by the name of John is appearing in the data set for 3 times or 4 times. If I wanted to know, who is which John, or all these John names are duplicated, or are these three John names are different? To understand that, I need to have a unique key column. In the case of Power Query Editor, we have something called index column option is available, using which you can generate unique values. So that let's say the index value is 1, that one is tied with the John. Okay, and index number 2, that unique number is assigned to another John, and index 3 is assigned to another John. You assume that at this moment the index number 1, 2, 3 in this case are other number. It is with this we can understand these three Johns are different. It is not duplicate. It is correct value only, but these three people are different. How you can say these three people are different? Because of that index column, because of that unique key column. Okay, the index columns are used to identify the unique rows within a table. Typically, these columns start at either 0 or 1. Okay, I just show you an example. We will just go here. And for example, here I have append 1. So not append 1, some file. I just create quickly something here. Or else I just go here and I just go here. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll just some simple Excel file. I'll open test data. I'll put it here. There's something called country, or not the country, yeah, country name, or the employee name. Okay, the same thing, employee name. And let's say his date of birth and the place of birth. All the informations are available. And the same thing, like I said, John. Here also John. In our company, we have 100 Johns are there. But maybe some John date of birth is also matching. For example, 01 to 1986. And this guy's date of birth is also matching. Okay. And you have place of birth. Place of birth is something like Bengaluru, Bangalore, Bengaluru, Bengaluru. This guy is also from Bangalore only. Okay. Place of birth, maybe address can be different. Let's go with this one. Okay. And the employee name, and you have another guy, listen, Ashok. Maybe his date of birth is different. This is enough. Okay, I just save this as a CSV file. Okay, Here, if I load it, I will use this one because it has less number of files in it. And I just use this one, employee.csv. So good, everything is fine. I just click on load. Okay, employee data got loaded here. Fine. Now what I do is I just, whether it is available, okay, I just go to the Power Query editor. No, okay, I opened this one. I should have gone there. I just select employee. Fine. Here, employee name John, Ashok. These things are there. What I do is I just go to the add column ribbon. Here you will find something called index column. You have various options here. From zero, you want to create the index value from zero, or you want to create the index value from one. Usually, we don't start with zero. Okay, just for you to understand what options, right, are available, I just selected this option. So instead, what we can do is, I just click on this wheel icon here. Okay, the starting index is zero and increment by one. Okay, you can also modify it here. Here one and increment by one. So one, two, three. Start with one, two, three. Either you can do it this way, or else you can go back here and you can do it. But since I already created it, so I have an option to modify it here. How do I do that? So I selected the index column and here added index. This step, you need to click on the edit settings, go here, you can change it. The starting index is 1 and increment by 1. For example, if you want to increment by 10, so 1 plus 10 is 11 plus 10 is 21. Okay, whatever the incremental value you wanted, you can specify it here. So setting up the index is very simple, but here you have options. Okay, if you see here, you have something like, sorry, 0, 1, 2, or if you want from one, or if you want to have the custom values. We don't want to use 1, 2, 3 and all. We want to use 1,000 something like that, okay. And if you want to increment by one, you know that option is also available. Some customers they are very particular about this. We don't want the unique key value start with one digit, three digits, something that they wanted. Okay, you can specify it here. The other reason for creating an unique key, I just after creating the index, what I do is I say employee ID. Right. So though with this we can identify this John is different from this John. Okay, and this guy is, but these two guys, though the date of birth and place of birth everything is same, but still they are different. Okay. If I have another column, we can find out which department these two guys. Let's say within our department itself, we have all the values are matching. The other way of finding out is mobile number, contact number, or something else, right? So instead, that is not the right way of doing it. So what we do, even the mobile number also, right? Sometimes they change it. Hence, that is not the right way of choosing the mobile number as a key column. So better you can create some artificial keys like this, index values. The other advantage of creating the unique keys in a table, a table like this, you can create the relationship between the tables. Suppose I have a table called sales fact. The sales fact also I want to have an employee ID table, employee ID column, so that we wanted to know which salesperson. In this case, employee is kind of not all the employees are salesperson. Those employees or salesperson, because of them, how much sales we made it. If you wanted to do some kind of analysis between the sales fact table and the employee table, you need to create the relationship. In order to create the relationship, one-to-many relationship, you need to have this column. Okay, so assume that if you use this column, what will happen? Many to many relationship you will land up with many to many relationship issues. Okay. Hope you understood. It's pretty simple creating index, but end of the day, yes, you should be knowing it. This is though it is a very simple thing, right? In the interview they will start with very simple questions only. The starting index specify the initial index value increment. We have seen how we can increment the value. Next one is creating custom columns, conditional column, and column from examples. Okay, let's see how we can create the custom column. At times, we may need additional columns, right? In addition to the existing columns, we wanted to create some new columns to hold some important information. Or sometimes what we need is we need to store the intermediate output of something. Okay, so what do you mean by intermediate of something? Intermediate value you want to store it. For example, I just okay, this is okay, this is the one I needed. Okay, here that file is not there. Okay, I removed it. Okay, okay, because of this. Sales by customer, not sales fact. If you see the query name in italics, then you have disabled the enable load. You can enable it whenever you want it. You can enable it, and then you can close and apply. Now the sales fact table is visible now in my model. It is visible. Okay, I can see that in this table I have product ID, customer ID, a lot of columns are there. Good. We have in total 92 rows are there, and we have list price and cost price is also available. Okay, now we have the sales amount. How this value got derived? This has already been derived. We don't have to do anything here. This has been derived already. So how it has been derived? The list price into quantity. 50 into 2 is 100. 50 into 4 is 200. Now we wanted to know the cost of goods sold. Okay. So that we can find out or we can compute the profit. Okay. The sales price minus the selling price minus cost price is your profit, right? That is what you, that's a simple formula. Let's not complicate with a very complex one. Let's start with a simple one. So I need to subtract the cost of goods from sales amount. In that case, what I need to do is I need to multiply the cost price by quantity. If I take the product by quantity and cost price, I will get 80. 2 into 40, 80. So 100 minus 80, sales amount minus, the cost of goods sold. 100 minus 80 is my 20. That is my profitability. If I want to compute that, let me just, here already we have profit. Anyhow, I will, do it. This is different. I will just do separate thing here. What I do is I just click on the new column. Okay, not here. Sorry. We are talking about custom column. Here also we can create column. We are talking about the custom column. Hence, I just go here and go to the Power Query editor. And you need to go to the add column. And then you have something called custom column. So what I do is I just first select the sales fact table. I just refresh it. Here, what I do is see in the sales fact query. What I'm going to do is I just click on the add column. Here you can see different options are available. Custom column, column from examples, invoke custom function, conditional column. I want to create a new column because I need to find out the cost of goods sold. Here what I do is I just give some meaningful name. Cost of goods sold. Here I just specified And then if I come here I can specify the formula. So what is my formula here? Here the cost price into or quantity into cost price. Just simply type star here. It is multiplication and not the this one quantity. That's it. You don't see any syntax error. In case of any syntax, for example, if you put syntax error, okay, and there is no syntax error, fine, very simple one. So cost quantity into cost price or cost price into quantity, both of them are same. Now am able to create a new column by the name of cost of goods sold. But the data type is, the by default ABC 1 to 3, why ABC 1 to 3? Okay, what we will do is, I just click on this. I'll change it to some decimal number. Okay, let it be there. Now it's fine. We don't see any error here. We don't see any empty. Very good. Cost of goods sold. Next, what I do is I just go back here and create custom column. Here, I just want to see the gross profit. To create something called gross profit. Or let's say net profit. Net profit here. What I do is I just use the sales amount minus cost of goods sold. Okay, again, you can use, you can subtract, discount, all the things. Okay, you can do it. But let's not, let's start with the simple thing and see what happens here. So now we have created another column. You might be wondering, why should I create two columns? Can't I implement the same thing here? Yes, you can do it here itself. You can just click on this one. You can go back here. You can say the quantity into cost price. That gives you the cost of minus sales amount. You can do that. But if your manager wants to see what is the cost of goods sold for each line item, you need to have this one. The point why I am emphasizing on this one is, you need to make sure that, or you need to be diligent creating the columns to your existing table, creating custom columns. Okay, if you create more number of custom columns, it can consume too much of memory. When you work with a huge volume of data, let's say you have to already 15 million records are there, you created multiple columns, and because of which what will happen is it'll take a lot of memory. Since these two columns becomes part of your table, it will consume too much of memory. If it is required, fine, okay, you can add it, but make sure that if you can implement the same logic here itself, we can do it. But if the requirement is something, no, we want to see the cost of goods sold separately, we can, we can create a separate column in that case. And again, you wanted to see the cost, the different range of cost of goods sold. For example, you create a slicer. In that slicer, you want to use the cost of goods sold. Okay, so that if you slide the cost of goods values towards the left side or right side, based on which the filter will get applied. For example, cost of goods sold between 80 to 100. What products are there in the report if you want to see it, especially in the slicer. If you wanted to use this one, then you can use it. Okay, but still, if they want to see along with the net profit, they want to see the cost of goods sold. Right, so then in that case you can create it. Hope with this simple example you're able to understand how to create the custom column. It's a very simple one. And also we will take a look at the other scenario when the cost of goods, sorry, this one, right, will get created by default. So what do you mean by default? The custom column will get created automatically when you do something. For example, your order date, right? Okay, I will discuss about the date little later in the interest of Abhinaya. Okay, what I will do is I just check here. Okay, all these things are in the month, date, year format. It's US data, fine, everything is fine. What I do is I just go here, simply click on using local. Usually the date column, you will not have any blank values. In case any blank values, then you will run into some problem when you convert the date data type. Look here. So we don't have any data formatting, value for, data, date value formatting issues. We don't have it. Hence, it's pretty, pretty simple. We got converted. So now I'll show you. So now the question is why the order date column should be in date format, date data type. So look here, this is this icon tells this is a date data type. So why it needs to be, I am okay with text data type. What is the necessity of convert this in as a date data type? Only when you convert the date data type, you can do some kind of date related calculation. For example, ship date is also date data type. And if somebody wants to know, I just wanted to, let's say if the management wants to see which all products or which all orders we did not ship it on time. So in that case, if you have the ship date column as a date data type, if you subtract the order date from the ship date, you will get the duration. Let's say your ship date is 22, or let's say 20 September. Order date was 18 September. So 20 September minus 18 September. So with that, you can get the duration, 2 days. Well, our SLA is on or before 3 days, we are supposed to ship it. So with this, we can make sure that yes, we deliver it on time. But in that kind of situation, you need to perform date related calculation. Okay, you don't have to write separate function. You don't have to write lines and lines of code to extract the value from the text data type or ship date and subtract it. It's painful thing. Better you convert a date data type. You can simplify the job. Okay, that is what everybody is expecting. So convert the date data type so that we can. So now let us see. Now we understood why we need to make sure that the date column should be in date data type. If you want to perform any date related calculation, it should be in date format. And now I just go to the view and not view home ribbon. I just go here, look here, I have something called date data type here. 1 second, it is available in not view and yeah, here the add column, here something date is available. So what I do is I just duplicate this column. So from here, okay, what I do is I just go to add column and here I selected this column, right? I just select date and when I click on year here, so automatically new column got implicitly a custom column got created. Okay, that is so now you don't need this one, you can remove. Probably if you think you want to have a month in addition to that, you want to extract month alone. You can extract month from this order date for each order date. Okay, this is 11th month. So what is the necessity of creating two different columns to hold year and month separately? The reason is if you want to compare month on month sales, year on year sales, 2021 and 2022, in December and November, what is the sales? If you have separate column like this, it will be pretty simple. So this is another way of creating the custom column, but here we don't have to create it explicitly. Or else, for example, if you just select this one, and if I go here, you still think, no, I want to create a custom I want column. For example, you can do it that way also. Quarter. You can just say here, order date dot quarter. Quarter of year of I think, yeah, daytime as in. Yes, is correct. Look here, quarter alone got X. So manually also you can create it. But you should be knowing this function date dot quarter of year. See, earlier what I did, order date followed by that I just typed dot and I tried. Still it was showing something. But since I knew, right, I am not supposed to do that way. I first typed date something, quarter of year. I typed it. Automatically it was showing the function, the language related function. I just passed this in argument. Now it is able to extract. See, 11th and December is fourth quarter. Yes, doing this is first quarter because according to this, yeah, March month, yeah, is falls in first quarter, right? So it's doing a pretty good job. Either you can create it manually, but in this case, right, you don't have to create it manually. You have an option, you can leverage this one. But when it comes to these kind of calculate net profit, all the things, because different companies they use different thing, but in general, net profit and cost of goods performed is same, but there will be slight difference. But in that case, you need to create the custom column. Fine. The next one is we will just go ahead and take a look at conditional column. We will see when we can create the conditional column. So here, I just want to create some bucketing. What do you mean by bucketing? I have a column called list price. We wanted to create a new column, which should it should be a sign of a, the call new column name is supposed to be a price bucket. I just call this a price bucket, right? And what I do is I just define the rule here, the condition. If the price, any product price falls between 0 to 100 or 0 to 50, that is called low cost products, low price products. And anything greater than 50, I call as a medium cost products. Because there are some situations, right? Your management will ask you to do this kind of analysis. We want to see of these three buckets: low price, medium price, high price, and which bucket we got more margin. Right? See, sometimes the product cost may be very high, but the margin is less. Okay, but there are some cases the product price is not so high, but the margin is very high. Okay, so for that kind of analysis, if you create the price bucket, that will be helpful. For this, I just select the list price here. Operator. So here you have different options are available: equals, does not equal. So here what I do is less than or equal to. And here you have another option here. You want to select a column or parameter or enter a value. You have three different options. Supposing you want to use an existing column, you can select this one and select the column. So in that case, if the list price is less than this one, then but in my case, I don't have a column wherein, we have defined the separate thing. In that case, what I do is enter a value. I just manually enter the value. If the list price is less than or equal to 50, I call this as a low price thing. Next, I add another condition. Here, I go and select again the list price. I want to define another rule because we need to we need to have the medium priced related products, right? So for the list price, so in this case, if I specify is greater than 50, okay, is greater than 50. So I need to specify greater than what? 50. Here, less than or equal to 50. Here, greater than 50, which means 51 and above. I call this a medium. Okay, and then, okay, everything is fine. And if I click on OK, let's see what happens. The price bucket created. The low, medium is available, but the management wants the high priced bucket also. So now what I do is I somehow miss that rule. What I do is I just, by default, the last step we carried out was this one on the right side. You can see it here under the applied steps. Just next to that, the wheel icon is there. I just click on it. It will take me back here. And here, if I click on add class, I can add one more condition here. So what condition can I specify it here? Anything is greater than 50 is medium. And I need to specify, some condition. For example, is greater than or equal to 100. If I say something like that, will it work? I just call this a high. Okay. Supposing if you don't type anything, and it will still work, but still I'm going to say hi. If I click on OK, still I don't see high here, right? So anything above 100. but there are no syntax error, but still it is not picking. So does that mean we'll go and check the logic here? Is greater than or equal to, we mentioned, right? Greater than or equal. Let's see if I say is greater than. Okay, is greater than. And is this correct, the logic? So, or can I use any other option here in order to do this one? I'm sure, I have prices for products. Some products, the prices are more than 100 is available here. Here, let's say is greater than, if I use it, will it work? Is this logic correct? If the list price is less than or equal to 50, this is fine. If the list price is greater than 50, medium. So is this correct? That's why it is not. See, if I say the list price is greater than 50, so what do you mean by greater than 50? So 1 lakh, is also 100,000 is also greater than 50, right? So here the logic is wrong. We will check it one more time. We'll see. I'm getting low, medium, something wrong here. The logic is wrong here. The operator what I used was not correct. Means what I do is in this case, I define a boundary here. Anything less than 50, you say it is a low. Anything is less than or equal to 100, then I define the boundary here. And anything which is greater than 100, you do it. So anything greater than 100, okay, less than or equal to 100 rupees and less than that, you say medium, okay. And anything, see here what happens is less than or equal to 50, that condition, whichever product matches, for them it will flag low. Let's say, a product price is, more than 50. In that case, this condition will not become true. It will become false. And then the condition will, that thing will come here. Is less than or equal to 100? Yes. Okay, 51 is less than or equal to 100 and it is a medium. So the next one is anything which is greater than 100. Yes, 101 is, greater than this one. I just click on this here. Now we can see the low, medium, high. So you need to properly choose this operators here, operators. So this is how you can create the conditional format. Okay. So the other examples are like age bucket. You want to do some kind of analysis, which age group people are buying which brand of mobile phone. If you want to understand it, right? So if you have, in this case, we don't have the age column here. Okay, if let's say you want to create a age bucket like less than 30 or between 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, right? So in that kind of situation, also you can use it. Age segment. You want to create a age segment or age bucket, right? So in that, so let's say in that case, right, less than 30, within these three price bucket, how much they purchased it. Okay, we can do that kind of analysis if you have so that kind of situation you can go for creating conditional column. It is a great way to add new columns to your query. So look here, we have created a new column using conditional column also. So this one, the if then else, is very common across many programming languages. Even in in the Excel, we can use this one. I don't know how many of you have used this one. Fine. Next, hope you understood with this how to create the conditional column and what kind of scenario you can create it. I explained it. And the next one is we have something else called column from examples. This is an awesome feature. Okay, I just go here and let me do one thing. I just duplicate this column once again. I just keep this here. Supposing you have a requirement wherein you need to convert this date format. This date format, like year, month, date. How can I convert that? So I should be knowing the M language related functions, but I'm not so comfortable with that. Is there any way I can do it without using M for M language? or M functions. Is there any way if I can do it? So that's where the column from examples is very much helpful, very much handy in that kind of situation. What I do is I just click on this uh, column from examples, drop down thing. Here we have two options. Not all the columns. I want to use this column from examples on a specific column. Okay. So this column from examples option, okay, allows us to simply type examples of the desired column output. Examples of a desired column output. Okay, what is the desired column output? Our desired column output is year, month, date. It's something like how we check it. So 2021 and 1102. I just type some sample data here. Nothing happened. Okay. So next one is 2021 1102. If I do it, so, but what happens is, sorry, here, it is not a 2021. The date is, month and date is different. Okay, 12 and 03. I type it. Look here, I just typed two sample data. The rest of the values got converted in the desired format or the required format. So in this case, what happens is the mashup engine, right? It determines which M functions and the series of steps that needs to be added to the query, and then it return the results, right, with the results consistently. Look here, it automatically generated the script here. Look here, I just typed the two values here automatically behind the scene. The text dot combine. Look here, the order date, the column name is order date copy one. Extract here and then put hyphen, and then order date here month, year hyphen, year followed by the year hyphen and the year month hyphen, and then extract the date to date. Okay. So these are the functions. These are the M language functions. Okay. So you don't have to be aware of this one. Okay. But just by typing the sample data using the custom column from examples, it automatically, like the artificial intelligence, machine learning, how we teach the algorithm based on some data, right? The same way here. We just teach this one. Hey, use, this is the format you need to use it to convert the entire column values in this format. Yes, 2021 1205. Even if it takes 17 3 2021, look here, 2021 370. Okay, year, month, date. Good. It has done a fantastic job. So that is the beauty of the column from examples. This is very much helpful in real time scenario, especially the format changing and all, right. It's pretty simple. We will be doing this one more frequently. And click on OK. Another example is something like you have, let me just see whether I have this one. Okay, I don't have that one here. Let me just see, select CS here, no, this one. Okay, I just, I'll show you another example. You will understand how powerful this one is. I just go home and new source. It's painful. Anyhow, I will do it, no problem. The same data set, because you are already familiar with it. That's why I'm using the same data set. And I just do this one, column thing. We are done with this. Okay, so now the data set is ready. And if I go here, you see, you are given a data file. In that file, a column holds both the country and state name in it. Your management wants to separate these two things. Once you separate the state from the country, So they can take this one and then they can print it in the address thing. They can print the address, and then they can they can print the address in a label, so that each and every product can be shipped to the respective location. But let's assume that in that case you need to separate the date and country. So if you look at this here, the values, it is not consistent. If you see here, the first value, United, followed by the space is there, States, followed by space is there, New space, York. The first two words are related to country, and remaining two are your state. But if you see the next value here, Australia, here in this case, the country name, is the country name in this case, right, two words, but here only one word. But the state name, three words are there. How will you extract the countries separately? And so you have an option. So look here, you don't have to sweat too much. And here you just right click on it, and then you can do something like split column. So what you can do is you can use either, so look here, uppercase to lowercase. We don't need this one. We wanted to either use some delimiter. In this case, the delimiter is space. But if I use a space here to split it, United will go in a separate column, states will go in a separate column. So in total, four different columns will get created. I don't need that one. Is there any other option is available by number of characters? Number of characters also not possible, right? Because if you go by the number of characters, for example, here 6 and here you have 6, 12. But the 12 plus space, one space, 13. 13 characters are there, right? And if you specify number of characters 13, what will happen is here the second value, second row, this is not same. Okay, it's very difficult to split the country and state. In that kind of situation, also we can go for column from examples from selection. Here, what I do is I just type United States. I just want to separate only the. And if you see here, United States, I just typed only once. And here I did not type for the rest of the thing. But if you see here, the United States, for this one, it automatically filled with United States. And you might be asking this question. So in my data set, I have a lot of records are there. Yes, you may have to spend, you need to put some effort here. Or if you are good with M script, you can write it. But even for an experienced person, it will take time, in this kind of situation. It's a little bit complicated. So what we do is we just type some more sample data. With that sample data, it can understand the pattern. Australia. And if you see here Australia, New South Wales, it automatically put this in. But if you see somewhere Australia, Queensland, it is not doing it. It still remain as it is. And here it is doing good job. And Germany also. Yes, this requires a little bit effort to type all the things. And here Australia, right? So Germany is fine. And here it is New Zealand. You need to take two letters in consideration for this kind of pattern. Look here. So likewise, you can perform the complex transformation in a very simple way. The column from example is very much helpful. Okay. Obviously, you need to do so. Look here, you might be asking United States, but here it is not doing it. So again, you need to type some more data. You need to, type few sample data, not few, sometimes, right? Moderately, some data you need to type it. Or else, whatever the query generated here, you take it and then you can probably customize it. You don't have to write the script from the scratch. The generated script, the script generated by the engine, you pick up and then you can customize it. That is another option. If you think no, even I'm look here the spelling mistake, New Zealand, right? You need to type it correctly. Right, got it. And the date one I have shown you, right? Even for the date format, you can use it. And see, Abhinay, you were asking that, right, yesterday. The date, so it is when I convert the date column, which is in text data type, to date data type, it created some error for a specific value because for a specific date value, the the date format is not correct. For example, the entire column you have year, month, date. Sorry, month, date, year. So month, date, year. This is the format to be followed. But in the given data, only one value, you have something like date, month, year. Indian date format is there. Just because one value, you cannot change it to go to locale and don't change it to the entire column as an Indian date type and don't do all the things. Okay. So the option is you can right click on it. See, if you encounter those kind of issues, right? But rarely we encounter those kind of issues. That is what we do is in real time scenario, we will tell the customer very clearly. So this is what the format we needed. So but the US people they say yes, we need a month date here. Okay, we will tell them very clearly the CSV file and each column the data should be like this. Okay, we will ask them. So the format should be like this. Use forward slash, and in case of any hyphen, you need to fix it. But there are customers they say no, we don't have people. That's why we outsourced you. Okay, we have given this task to you. So in that kind of situation, what we do is simply go and here, I just click on cancel here. We need to set the expectations very clearly. Okay, but source system, it is the response source system. We cannot take up everything. And in that kind of situation, what we can do is we can go and rely on the replace values. Like I've shown you, wherever the hyphen is there, replace it with this one, the forward slash, so that all the values are consistent. Okay. But in the real time scenario, you will not be able to open the files and all. Okay, most of the time I've seen it. Okay, it's all available in cloud. Simply they will give you the location. You go and open it here. Okay, you cannot go to the folder and all. But simply you need to you can use that folder only from your thing here, and you can load it here. So here you can go and make some changes. Sometimes if you have access to the folder, if you are able to open it, still you will not be able to make changes to the data. Read only access they will give. Okay, in that kind of situation, right, you can modify it here. You simply only way out is you can click on replace values and for change the format. It will work. And if you have any null value, it will cause problem. So you had some null value. But after you replace the value with the date, month, year format, were you able to successfully convert the date data type? Abhinaya.
Yes, sir.
How
I
about the
used
null?
the
So null
sales by
remained as
customer
null,
file.
right? Null did not become error, right?
No, sir. I used the sales by customer file.
That's what I remember it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, good. So, so it is not doing anything wrong with the. It is not messing up with the null, right? So for example,
No.
I just show you here sales here, right? You see here NA. This NA was, and if you open the data file, you will not find the NA there. Instead, you will find the blank value. So what happens here? We have some issue here just because the dollar value is mentioned along with the numeric value. It became a text data type. Ideally, this suppose you numeric data. What the one way out is I just go here and replace values, and then what I do is the dollar by blank. Simply I give like this, and this dollar got removed. Okay, and if you see here, okay, we are done with this. If I go and convert this a decimal number format directly. Look here, you can see error here. Why? Why error I'm getting here? Because I had a blank value here. For the blank value, Power Query editor itself replace the blank value by NA. So you need to address this one also. Right click on it and replace values. You need to type NA here as it is, and then you put some zero or something like that. Click on OK. And then only if you do it. See, it is not that all the time converting from one data type to another data type is straightforward. Okay, so we need to do some kind of data transformation, formatting, and then only you can. Now, if I do it here, look here, you don't see any error. If you see here, no error. That's why I asked that question. Good. So it's pretty simple. So there are different ways of changing the date format. Okay, but one specific value alone, if you are facing that issue, it's a simply go and do replace. That's all. Rarely it will occur. And sometimes what we do is we will remove that, filter that record alone. We see that, notice that, and we remove. Because of that one single value, your entire data loading process will get failed. Okay, it will still loads, but it rejects the error record. Okay. Okay, for example, I just simulate this here. What I do is I just change this one, revert this back here, and I just here NA is there. Okay, I have seen only this one. Okay, I'm convinced. Okay, what I do is I did not notice the NA here. I click on, I just change to decimal. I did not even see the error here. Look here, if I go and click on close and apply. It will take some time. I should have unchecked the enable load. Unnecessarily, look here, unnecessarily it is loading this one. Look here, one of the loaded queries contained errors. And if you simply click on close, it will not, let's say if I click on close, what happens here? If you see here, the sales amount, if I click on it, it become a decimal number. Okay. And I just go here, and then if I expand this one, sales underscore 04, I can see that this one still remain as a it got converted as a number data type. If you see any sigma value before a column name, that means that's a quantitative variable, numeric variable. But to know whether it is a decimal data type or whole number, you click on this column, and you can see here it's a decimal number. It is fine, but still there was some error here. Let me just use some visual here, and then when I put here and sales and category, it is working fine, but that specific records, right, now, yeah, instead of this one, what I do is I just use some, in this kind of situation, the table visual is very much helpful. This is my table visual. So 1,13,004, 1,113, right? But a few records, it generated error. The previous version, it will not allow us. Okay, if there are error, right, it will not allow us to close this one at all. If I click on close, it will not apply all the changes. I remember that one. Look here. In this case, what happened? That error? Error is gone. Okay, sales W04. Okay, I just go here and let me check in the sales W04 how many records are there. 25,004. Good. We got some error. One second, let me just go to the sales column and see. See this error, right? Still error is there, and copiers and all the things. Okay, any of these are blank values. If you replace it with error, it is not going to impact when it comes to your total, right? Then it is fine. So that's why we are not posing any issues here. Okay. And okay, what I will do is I will just really, I want to simulate the real error related problem. I just go here. Look here, I have a dollar here. right? I just select this one. Simply, I just convert this. See, in this case, the dollar value concatenated with the numeric value was available at the top of the record. Let's say it is available at the end. You have 1 million records, right? Somewhere in the middle it is there. You did not notice this one. And let's see in this scenario what happens. It shows one of the loader, but with this you can see the error 25,004 rows loaded, 60 errors. Look here, 60 errors we can see here. When you click on the view as, yeah, this is the one we did not notice that time. Still it is loading it, right? So that is the confusion here. Let me just yeah, look here, there is error in here, it has to generate a file. That's what I was wondering. Error in sales W04. It will generate something like this. And then with the help of the column profile, look here. So this many number of records generated error. This is where we spend a lot of time. The records will get rejected. And but the end of the day here, see, in the earlier version, I remember it will not allow you to load it here at all in case of any error. Now it is doing it. So I will probably in my other laptop, I have the older version. I'll check it one more time. If you have any error, it will not allow you to load it unless and until you fix it. Okay, but now maybe they will introduce some feature wherein, because the load time is more important. Okay, in case of anything, any error, you put it in a separate thing, and then you can filter it and still continue with loading the data, because the volume of the data is very high. End of the day, meeting the SLA is very, very important. For example, a specific job and needs to load the data in 4 hours. Let's, on an average, it takes to load the weekly sales data, right? It takes 4 hours to load because it has millions of records. Again, the weekly sales data is not on a single file. Let's say 3 files. You need to combine it and load it. So in that case, 4 hours time, right? So with after 4 hours, it should trigger. It should automatically send the report. In case of any delay, so they will penalize us. Okay, so there is a SLA. You need to deliver it within so and so time, something like that report. In that case, let's say, because of this error, if the job fails, you are gone. The report, you cannot generate the report. You need to break your end. So what happens? It will reject the errored record. Still, the load is continuing. Okay, good. One way it is good. And but still, with this, you can take a look at how many number of, okay, all the 60 rows got rejected. And by looking at this, you can do some kind of fixing. Okay, or take this day, take another data set, and then you fix it there manually, or use this Power Query editor, you can fix it. Look here, you can see that you can, the date format issue is there. Okay. And here, if you go back here, the sales column 1.2 sales is there, but here you cannot do anything. That is one detected type mismatches. See, other error records we know very well. The NA values were there. Any of the except the first record, rest of them were having NA value in it, not available, blank value. Even if it consider that's the error, it is fine, because there are no values are there. Okay, it will not cause any problem when it comes to accuracy. But this one got rejected, right? The fixing this one is a bigger challenge. I will leave this to you. Let me see how many of I will share this data file, as it is. You give it a try. Fine. Okay. I just close this one. See, usually what we do is if we get any error, we will take a look at it. Anything related to format, then we will ask our source system people to fix it and give the correct data. It is their response to give the data. But there are customers, they say, no, we don't have that luxury. We don't have people. You please take up. And if you want to bill me, you can bill me. But I want this issue to be sorted out. So in that kind of situation, how do we solve that? I will leave it to, let me see how many of you can think and do it. Solve that. Okay, come up with some alternative. Let me see how many of you can come up with solution for that. Okay. Okay, the next one is the custom function. We have some more time. We'll just, I'll finish it off in 10 to 15 minutes time. Okay, let me just go here, transform data.